Hey SFiAM Jaguars, it's Miss Downey here. I'm going to present the 4P awards to the 6th graders on behalf of the entire 6th grade staff. We have Azel Esparza for being productive from Mrs. Lugo, Mrs. Hushavar, Mrs. Ruales, and Mrs. Gonzalez. We have Sebastian Sanchez for being productive from Miss Downey, Mrs. Lee, and Mrs. Ramirez. We have Annabelle Monreal for being prompt from Mr. Mayorga, Mrs. Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Angie Barrera for being productive by Mr. Mayorga, Miss Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Benito Garcia for being prepared from Mrs. Downey and Miss Lee. We have Isabella Padilla for being prompt from Miss Downey and Mrs. Lee. We have Leland Melendez for being productive from Miss Downey, Mrs. Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Adrian Flores for being productive from Miss Downey, Mrs. Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Hema Hernandez for being polite from Mrs. Lee, Mrs. Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Annalie Morales for being prompt from Mrs. Lee, Mrs. Simpkins, and Miss Wade. We have Melody Contreras for being prepared from Miss Downey and Mrs. Lee. We have Francisco Chavez for being productive from Miss Downey, Mrs. Lee, and Miss Ramirez. And we have Eduardo Hernandez for being prepared by Miss Downey, Mrs. Lee, and Miss Ramirez. And that is all for the 4P awards for the 6th grade.